Back again at Pace Immigration, paceimmigration.com with Immigration Director Jim Metcalf. Jim, been a while since we've chatted. A lot of changes are afoot in Canadian immigration. Maybe just give me a rundown of the highlights you'd like the people to know about.
Well, there has been so many changes, it's been hard to keep up with them, and it appears that every week we get something new from immigration. Where to begin? Good question.
How about we start with maybe some investor news?
Well, the investor news is looking up. The Quebec government has announced that they're going to reopen the Quebec Immigrant Investor Program on August the 1st to new applicants, and we anticipate that there'll be about 2,100 people applying probably within the first 2 weeks of the program opening. It's the only action in town, it's the only action in Canada for passive investors, and it's very popular in all parts of the world. The federal government has been out of the game for almost 2 years now. They've got a tremendous backlog, and that backlog will continue for some time. However, we've heard rumblings that the federal government will reopen. However, they are also in conversations with the Quebec government as to what level the investment will be. We've heard rumors from everything from the status quo, which is $800,000 to $1.6 million. However, I believe saner heads will prevail, and it will probably come in at $1 million. It's a nice round number with a personal net worth of $2 million. That's my best guess at this present time.
Let's talk a little bit about provincial nominee programs. Where do they stand right now?
Well, the only action for us in terms of provincial nominee programs is Prince Edward Island. Prince Edward Island has got 400 places for individuals who wish to start active businesses and participate in the economy of Prince Edward Island. It's probably, as I speak, at the beginning of July, already oversubscribed for this year. But it will reopen again in January 2014. All the other programs require active investments in new or older businesses and require what's the word for it? Evidence that the individual wishes to stay in that province. Provinces are interested in retaining business people. So people who are considering, going to other provinces, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Manitoba, or Saskatchewan, but who really have their eye on coming to Toronto or British Columbia or Ontario and British Columbia, right, should be wary that the government of the provinces want to make sure that the individual will stay in the province which selects them.
Yeah, because it's kind of a funny thing. Canada and the Constitution, Canada, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, you have mobility rights, so you can go wherever you want, but the provinces want you to stay there. How do they kind of impress upon you that you should stick around?
Well, they want to see a good, solid business plan backed up by money, and in certain instances, some provinces demand a performance bond. You're prepared, if you're prepared to put up $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 with the government against residing in the province, then you have a good chance. But they're going to go over your business plan. They're going to make sure that you've had a visit to Canada, that you have roots in the province. For example, we do a lot of work with the province of Manitoba, and if you happen to have a relative in Ontario and you want to go to Manitoba, I would suggest that you change your plans, because Manitoba probably would not approve you.
Wow. Now, I know there's also been some changes in general across immigration in terms of age requirements and things like that, bringing children in. Maybe a couple of highlights you want to cover there?
Well, I think the most important one, and it's a program which has been closed for almost 2 years now, that is the sponsorship of parents.
Okay.
It used to be an open door for sponsoring parents, but processing times grew to 6, 7, 8 years. And the province closed the door, the federal government closed the door for new applicants and has been cleaning up the backlog. And now they're going to relaunch a program starting January the 1st, 2014. But it will see some significant changes. First and foremost is who can come with the parents that you're sponsoring. And right now, it's children under the age of 18 or 18 and under, period. If the children are over age 18, they're off the application unless there is a physical or mental disability which extends the dependency time. The other significant aspect is the other significant aspect is that they've raised the bar as far as your financial ability to sponsor parents. There is a number published by the Government of Canada, which is known as the Low Income Cutoff. It's known as in the trade as the LICO. And the LICO was a family income that you had to meet in order to sponsor somebody. So if you and your wife were earning $40,000, for example, you could sponsor two parents. Now they are going to change that. They're going to establish a new LICO, but you're also going to have to exceed the LICO, the low income cutoff, by 30%. And you're going to have to exceed it by 30% in the last 3 years before the sponsorship takes place. So it's a common habit of people, particularly who are self-employed or have limited income, is to bulk up their income in order to sponsor parents by declaring more income. That's gone out the door, and they're going to ask you to show your last 3 years of income tax returns. Notably, it's known as a CRA, or Canada Revenue Agency, Form C printout.
Now, this is all in answer to what? That people have been bringing people in and they don't have the means to support them, and then they go on the welfare rolls?
That's one of the concerns. The other concern is that in some jurisdictions, in some foreign jurisdictions, sponsorship of parents really means sponsoring your brothers and sisters. And we call that sibling immigration, which is against or not against, it's not one of the objectives of the Immigration Act to bring in brothers and sisters, because that brothers and sisters should stand on their own in the eyes of the government. And also is putting, we used to talk about the Coke bottle shape of the Canadian demography, that we had this aging group of people at the top of the Coke bottle. I think the government recognized we were bringing in far too many old parents, which have greater demands on health and social services, and they want to slim that top of that bottle down probably a little bit more, because that's where the costs come in. And also there's been serious issues of, I think there's about a 30% default rate amongst sponsorship of parents who go on social assistance.
Wow. Okay, one curveball for you before you go. Somebody wrote me and asked on the Facebook page that the Cairo embassy is closed right now, the Canadian embassy, but they've lost their passport. So where do they go if the embassy's closed? And do you know?
I really don't know, but from past experience, there probably is a shadow office open. And the last time this happened, during the last sort of riots or they closed the embassy, they opened up an office in a hotel near the airport. And I would just watch the website of Department of Foreign Affairs and International Trade to see, wait for announcements. I think you're not going anywhere in any place with your passport, because the airport's closed. So I think this is one of those situations where you just have to wait and see. But somewhere in Cairo, there will be an office open. But you have to understand the Canadian Embassy is right on the edge of Tahrir Square, right in the heart of where most of the demonstrations take place. It's just on the outside of the green zone. So I wish my former colleagues in the Foreign Service well, and keep safe in Cairo, because it's not going to be a pleasant place for the next 2 weeks.
Right. Okay, Jim, thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you again soon, get some more updates. Until then, paceimmigration.com. Bye-bye.
Thank you.